Hey, this is Typix. You're listening to Center Ring.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast, episode 194, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date, November 24th, 2019. The time, 8:44 p.m. Central Time. This might just be the best episode ever, as we got E-News, a packed E-News for you to end the show. ECS is this weekend. We will be there. We'll tell you everything you need to know, as the ECS Season 8 finals are back in Arlington, Texas. It's Monday, so you know we got Yikes of the Week. And, might just dive a little bit into the salt mine. But before we do so, be sure and follow us on Twitter, @TheCenterRing. Leave a comment, review, whatever you got to do on iTunes or any of the other streaming platforms you might be listening to. Let us know how we're doing. We appreciate it. I hear it helps out with Google or some such. I don't know. That's just what they tell me. And be sure and join our Discord. You can find that link on our Twitter and our website, tcr.gg. And then that's really all you got to do. That's all I ask. It's simple as that, and then enjoy the show. Hello, my name is Tim. I'll be your captain for this journey into esports, and alongside me, as always, you guessed it, it's my best friend, my brown friend. It's Anuj. What's up, bud?
Cowboys and Lions lose today, unfortunately, Tim. I think the salt mine is a great segment.
I just want to do one show after a Lions win. That's it. Is it too hard to ask, Detroit? Just win one game for me so I can do this show in the right state of mind.
It'd be good for both of us, you know? The closest we've gotten is when we played each other.
I know. And that's just because someone had to. And even then,
the
Cowboys still played poorly. Like, they weren't even playing that great. But beggars can't be choosers, man. That's what happens when we like subpar football teams. What can we say? That's why we lean on esports to ease the pain, because you don't have to be esports is acceptable for people just flip-flopping back and forth. They don't care about that for whatever reason. They don't care about rivalries. Ask Crim6. He wants you to be nice to every team.
I picked the best NA team in CS whenever I get a chance.
Yeah, right?
Cloud9 for a couple of weeks. Here, I'll take it. EG. All right, let's go.
Put away the Cloud9 jersey. That EG jersey. No, and no one... yeah. You know what? You don't even have to. Just wear like a Cloud9 jersey and an EG hat or a liquid... and with like a liquid backpack. No one would say a damn thing to you in esports. No. And I don't know if I like that. I can tell you what, I don't like it. I absolutely hate it. But it's where we're at. It's where we're at.
You see it turning in with franchising.
With franchising, it definitely does help. I know we said it before. Like Crim6 once, he tweeted out like maybe a week or so ago about how, you know, fan bases need to not go at other teams because they don't know what they're talking about, and let's make COD scene better.
Don't be toxic.
Don't be toxic. Right. Don't be a toxic fan base just because you don't like the other team. Make COD better. Which, Crim6, I love you. You're on Dallas, so obviously you're my, you know, you're my honey buns. But bro.
You were pouring gas on that fire like a week ago.
Like, come on now. Come on. Let's look ourselves in the mirror now and see what exactly are we saying here. So, I love rivalries. I will never, ever, ever cheer for the Green Bay Packers to win anything. I don't care. And I feel like it should be the same in esports. Like, if you're a Chicago Huntsman fan, I want you to never cheer for Optic Los Angeles. Ever. I don't care about your allegiance. I don't care how many Optic shirts you have in your closet. Those are now dead to you. Okay? Those are Huntsman jerseys for as far as you're concerned. Those are memeing. You wear those to meme on Optic at this point. I don't want you cheering for Optic, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see flip-flopping. That's all I got to say on that. And that's not even the salt mine, Anuj. I'm just fired up.
Jumped in.
I'm just fired up. That's how I am. The salt mine though. Will you join me in the salt mine? Is that okay?
Let's take a stroll.
Let's walk with me here, okay? I'm fired up about this. I didn't think I was going to be fired up still because it was like 2 days ago, but I am. It's like the more, like when you hear something and you're like, okay, I'm going to walk away. But then like as you're like in the shower the next morning, you're like, man, I wish I didn't walk away. I wish I didn't walk away.
That's how I felt when we came back from BlizzCon.
Oh my God, with that guy on the airplane. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100% that jack wagon. Like that's one where you wish you didn't walk away on. So I was talking to our good friend Brett, former host of the show, Brett. May he rest in peace with his life decisions. And we were talking about the Dallas Fuel. I don't know how we got on this topic, to be real with you, but we did. And about how Jaina.
Damn.
I got Jane. got WoW on my mind, apparently.
Yeah.
Sort of same company. Jane, former assistant coach, coaching staff for the Dallas Fuel. And I made the comment that, you know what? I just, I think we were talking about like, wow, it's weird that he left and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, but, I wonder what that conversation was. Was it the Fuel going to him saying, hey, bud, maybe you just need to step back and be a content creator for us. We want you around, but not as a coach. Or was it him going up and saying, I'm backing off. I want to be a coach. We all know publicly what it looks like, but I wonder truly what that conversation was like.
Yeah.
And I made the comment saying that, well, I just never thought he was that great of a coach to begin with. And that's not new development. If you've listened to our podcasts in the past during the Overwatch League season, I have often said that Dallas's coaching staff, I think, could be tweaked a little bit here and there. I don't think that their messages align. Now, Arrow bought him some time by winning the World Cup for Team USA. Like, clearly, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
For now. But Jane, on the flip side, was on Team Canada, and they did trash tier Overwatch at the World Cup. So there still solidifies my point that maybe he's just not that great as a coach. I'm not questioning the guy's geniuses in Overwatch. Like, yeah, that dude knows the game inside and out. Not arguing that. But just because you have the knowledge does not necessarily mean that, you're a good teacher, right? We've seen plenty of teachers and coaches be geniuses at the game. Wayne Gretzky, the best hockey player of all time, was one of the worst coaches of all time. Does that mean
John Elway can't find a quarterback after 3 years of only looking for a quarterback, and he's one of the best of all time,
Yeah.
No, and did you mention how this...
And so why this is the salt mine, why I got so upset with this, not because Brett questioned my knowledge, that I'm used to. Because he went the cop-out way and said, well, Tim, he's a coach in the Overwatch League, so he's got to be pretty good at least. And I nearly threw my computer out the window, Anuj. I nearly snapped my mouse into.
That's a shit tier argument, though.
That is the worst argument. I'm sitting here trying to have an honest debate or a conversation about this man's coaching style. And Brett, former host of the Center Ring, now we know why he's not on the show anymore, folks.
This was a decision right here.
Comes back at me with, well, he coaches in the Overwatch League, so I rest my case. Oh, I'm sorry, Brett. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know. You're right. Because he's a coach in the league, he must automatically be God tier at coaching.
I didn't know we were comparing him to my mom. I
Right,
thought we
yeah,
were
right.
comparing him to like other coaches within the league.
Like,
How his performance is currently, not how his performance is versus like my wife. Like that's probably not
yeah.
a fair measurement. He's probably a lot better than her at Overwatch League.
I
Probably 100
just
times better than me.
look, that argument, and I've heard it before, right? And especially like it seems like, especially in Overwatch, right? The fans for the Overwatch League, Call of Duty, I love it. They will tar and feather a player almost like they get excited to do it, right?
Yeah,
Call of Duty almost gets excited to run a player through the mud. But Overwatch always tries to find excuses, and they always try to look on the bright side, which God bless you for doing that. I'm not that way, right? I'm fire everyone, blow up the team, we'll start again next year type of guy. And just because you make it doesn't mean that you are qualified for making it. Like I said, I think Jane is a genius at Overwatch. I watch his VODs. I watch his reviews on VODs. The dude knows what he's talking about. That doesn't mean that he knows how to convey it to the team or if his message. He seems like the guy, and I've only met him a few times and never like on a full-on conversation. So this is purely my speculation, my opinion. He seems like the guy that he thinks very highly of himself and his opinion, which you should if you're a coach. But at the same time, he wasn't the head coach. He was like an assistant coach, and he worked with the supports on the team. And I think that probably just didn't sit well with him or the other coaching staff with the way he would talk. Like he would tell you
he
what
wants
to
to
do.
be the guy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the guy that would work with you
Yeah.
very well. He doesn't seem like that well of a team player. It's kind of his shot or no shot.
So even if his like strategy is right, but it's not vibing well with the team, that's just equally as negative, right? Like
Of
it
course.
again, it doesn't mean that what he's saying is incorrect, but maybe the way he's portraying it or the way he's giving the feels to the rest of the team, like
Yep.
it's not coming
And I'll
off.
give you an example. On a much, 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 much lower skill base, in that godforsaken league I played in, the Circle Jerk and Tryhard leagues, our team captain, one of my best friends growing up, TJ. No, I've known this guy for years, my entire life, pretty much. I've known him at this point. Well, he was like our in-game leader, just kind of naturally adopted to it because he was the captain of the team running everything, right? I thought his strategies were awful. Like, it never vibed well with the team. You would have 5 guys telling him, we shouldn't run a Bastion. And he was like, I don't care, run the Bastion. And we would get rolled because no one else was feeling it. I don't care if it's meta. Bro, we're like bottom.
We need to do what works.
Right, we got to do what works for us. So I kind of feel like Jane was that same type of attitude, right? Like, no, we're going to force this square peg into the round hole as much as we can.
And you don't know how many of those decisions were, like when there were so many times where we were like, oh, why won't they change in between matches, or their unwillingness to make change. I don't know how much that was his decision versus like Arrow's decision,
Right.
but either way, whatever they were doing wasn't working. And that argument to say that
Well, he's a coach in the league.
he's a coach, we
Like,
get it.
I knew that.
I
I
know.
knew he was a coach. It's the skill of a coach is what I'm questioning. It really sent me over when he said that. I didn't know how to even respond. I didn't know how to respond at all. But that's okay.
We need to climb out of this mine because we started off with Cowboys Lions.
Oh, it was already bad. It was already.
It's just the Crimsix tweet.
Can we?
And now here we are.
Can
with
I
this.
bring
We
it back
need
to a positive note then?
We
All
need
right,
to
let's
spin it
climb
back
out.
around here.
All right, climbing out of the mine. I see the daylight. It's a beautiful day out. Can I just shout out to our awesome listeners who joined us for COD Community Night?
That was awesome.
Our first
That
ever
was a lot of fun.
COD Community Night was last night. So if you joined us, I know a handful of you were there. Appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. I know some of you wanted to be there but couldn't. Don't worry. We'll have another scheduled COD Community Night sometime soon. But realistically, boys, every night's a community night if you see us. Just hit us up in Discord, add us on Discord, message us. If you see us online playing Call of Duty, for sure, hit us up. We got no problem. All right. But shout out to Hazmat Pete, longtime listener, huge COD fan. He joined us. Top frag in some rounds I saw. These were console players too, so
He's put in the grind. He's max level.
tip of the hat.
He's fun to play with. Yeah, he's a good guy.
And then Tavik, our listener Tavik. I've played with him before, and so I knew he was decent, I'll say, at the game. And then Anuj, I even said, like, man, if we win privates, I'm going to have him on my team. That kid has put in the work, because I've never seen this in my life in any Call of Duty game. But we were pug stomping kids. I'm not kidding, people. I'm sure he's got a screenshot of it. I didn't do a screenshot, but my God, if I were him, I would have taken 100 screenshots. This kid dropped an 85 bomb on one hardpoint map that we played. 85 kills in
it
one map.
It wasn't even like a really long map, because we were beating the hell out of the other team. So it was one of those like 250 to 36 kind of beatings, and he still put up 85 kills. It was nasty. He was really good though. I mean, like, you could tell
He plays like with him and his
out.
buddies and BGs and
very good. I mean, it was a lot of fun to play with those guys. Brett.
I just want to see
if
he can do that. I want to play with a pro and a pug,
just to see how.
I mean, they would have to get a nuke like every game.
You would think so. You would.
I would like to think though we allowed him to get 85 kills.
I mean,
it was our support. It was our support of the objective, so he could get 85 kills.
Yeah, so we played hardpoint the whole night, pretty much. I think it was
because it's all you do.
It was, yeah. It's all we did was hardpoint the whole night.
Hardpoint master race.
We were capping that time, Tim. We did something, okay, and we actually didn't do bad. That was the best part. Is I felt like we were playing pretty damn good, and this guy was just on another level. I learned a couple of things. I started messing around with some of the guns that he recommended today, so that was fun. Again, a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys coming out, and again, we could do it anytime. It doesn't have to be a set time.
The beauty of a set time is when you have wife and child. You kind of have to. I have to have a set time to be like, babe, the listeners are going to be on. What do you want me to do?
Buys you consecutive hours of gaming.
Yes, not like 30 minutes here and there. I can be on for that night. So we'll definitely figure out a time, maybe around the Christmas holiday or something, when I know people kind of have school off or work off, things like that. We could probably make it happen again. In fact, what would be helpful is if you join our Discord, go in the LFG chat, the Looking for Group chat, and let us know a range of what might work for you. If you want to join us next time, I have no problem working around your schedule, because I'd much rather play with listeners than with randos. So let's do that. Let's make that happen.
With each other. Yeah.
Let's make that happen. So there's that. Awesome COD Community Night. First ever success for sure. But it's Monday, Anuj. And that can only mean one thing. We had a yikes. We had a weeks full of yikes. Let's start with yours.
This is kind of like recapping from last week. So last week we had the big announcement for those of you that hopefully have listened or haven't listened. It was like the Counter-Strike recap. They had a huge update that came out. A lot of stuff, right? Missions, weapon skins, like their own battle pass. Well, one of the big debates in the battle pass was the player model skins. Tim, last week I was like, oh, not a big deal. Get over it.
In my defense, Your Honor, can I make a statement?
Go ahead.
Let the people of the jury know that I said everyone should run default. Continue.
Oh, yeah. No, okay, well, okay. So I didn't mind. I said it should be default and competitive. But I also was like, we're blowing it out of proportion a little bit. We're going a little overboard. Well, man, over the past week, people have started posting areas where your player model blends into the background. incredible. One
it
person
is
posted a
bad.
picture. It took me, I shit you not, dude. It took me 15 to 20 seconds to identify where the character was in the screenshot. Like it's not like it was a moving, area that I was looking at. It was one still image and it said find the character. I thought he wasn't in the screen. I pretty much gave up and then saw him there finally. And that was like backside overpass like
Dude,
by the
it
railings,
makes Modern Warfare look like it's easy to see people. Like
which that's a whole nother. I could
I'm
dive
just
into
saying
that
though, like
mine again.
like
Don't drag
people
me there.
people thought Modern Warfare was difficult to see people, and man, in certain spots you legit cannot see people with these camouflage. And we'll get to it with the ECS, but they're not the only ones. Pretty much every tournament coming up in the future is are making it to where custom or not custom skins, but the non-default skins are not allowed.
Yeah, I just hope they do it for like normal competitive because that always seems to kind of get left behind. So I mean, it's great. We know we're going to see them do it in any major tournament except for possibly the major, which that would be a really interesting situation. I'm sure there'd be a gentleman's agreement or something of the sort to tell each other not to use different skins. But yeah, I hope they do it for normal matchmaking as well because that sucks for the casual fan base. It's already been tough out there playing through matchmaking. So we'll see how they approach that. But hopefully, it just kind of happens across the
A
board.
little selfishly, we are that casual fan base, right? I wonder if Face It servers though are doing it. Face It servers have to be running default, right? I'm sure there's a way to do that.
I mean, we know there's been some leagues that have announced it, but I don't know about them.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it does it does suck being a developer thinking like, man, we have this awesome idea. People are gonna love it. Don't worry about it. And then it's like, wah, nope, never mind. Like,
I like the idea, but just like let me select which ones I want allowed to be used, in a map or something,
right.
or somewhere to
I
turn
just
them on
think
and off,
the
or
easy
selecting.
the easiest thing for all of this is bring back client side skins. Like they did in 1.6. Let me choose what skins I want to see. It's only affecting my client side, what I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
but then
Easy,
you could also make it to where you
easy
only
peasy.
make it the visible skins.
Well, but then wouldn't everyone just do that, right? Everyone would have a dominant skin for that map. At
Yeah, but you
least,
don't want to make the gameplay like easier because you can't control that either, right?
right.
Like, I mean, it just should just the default idea is kind of the one that works best.
Yeah, just
You have to run
whatever
default.
whatever Valve or that it's not even
Yeah,
Valve, whatever the map creator made the skins for, that's it. Just
yeah.
let it ride. That's all you got to do. My yikes of the week. This might be the first time ever that Overwatch is not brought up in the yikes of the week, by the way. Because my yikes of the week goes right back, still Activision though, still Blizzard, to the Call of Duty League.
It remains in the
It
yikes.
it has trumped Overwatch. It is now the record holder for most appearances in yikes of the week. Unofficially, I haven't done the count, but quite possibly. Have you seen the ticket prices for the opening weekend up in Minnesota?
No, what are they?
They are quite steep, especially when you think of the target market for this.
Let me guess though. Then
All right,
I really haven't seen them.
we're going off 1 day tickets.
How many days is the event?
Well, it's 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay,
I am currently looking at tickets for Friday. I assume they're all the same price though.
one day,
Yeah,
$30.
they're all the same price. So you're looking at per day. From here, it looks like they do not allow
$30 seems high actually.
they do not allow just weekend passes unless you get the season pass. So everything else would just be a single day ticket.
I want to go $20. That's like $60 for like a 3-day pass for the counter or Call of Duty event. That seems a little high. So like 20. I mean, $20, I guess.
Okay. Final answer.
Okay, I know I'm off now. Like,
I'll
how
tell you
far am
what.
I? Should I have stayed with 30?
It is
Was 30 the right one?
still off. It is $25 per day
Okay.
to get concourse access only.
Wait, so you don't go into the
You
arena?
can't go into the arena. You're paying $25 just to sit in the concourse, I guess to buy some t-shirts and just to say you were there.
What?
You want a seat, Anuj? You want a seat for one day? One day. $65.
$65 for getting into the arena?
That's before fees. That's before fees. Fees you're looking at being $18.50. You driving? How are you going to get there? You're going to drive. So you got to pay for parking. Ticketmaster is so nice to offer you can just get parking right when you pay. $31.50. You want to go to one day at the Call of Duty League opening weekend in Minnesota? You are looking at $116 a day. A day. And if you want to just get the seasonal pass, which is multiple dates and times.
All for Minnesota events or what?
This is for all Minnesota events looking in January and May. So that's January 24th through the 26th and May 9th through the 10th. So 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 5 days. 5 days, right? You are looking at... We're looking at a seat. We're looking at a seat again. Without fees, $235.
Jeez. Let me just get the concourse pass.
So you're looking at $285 if you were getting the seasonal pass.
And then you got to pay for parking on top of that
still? Uh-huh. Yep. And that's just for one person. One person, Anuj. Like, okay, maybe this is just me getting old, right? And like caring more about money, because clearly their target market are kids who walk around with Supreme fanny packs and Gucci slides. So I'm sure they're okay paying this money. But where do they get off charging this? Is it the hype? Are they just basing it off the hype? Because realistically, I look at this and I'm like, I could go to like a Stars game. I could almost go to a Cowboys game for that money, especially now because they suck, right? Do they not compare? Do they just think we don't need to look at how they charge, because to our fans, we are the Cowboys. We are the football in town because they love Call of Duty and they're going to come and watch. Because don't get me wrong, I think it's ridiculous that they're charging this much. And on top of that, if you want to buy a rocker hoodie, the competitive hoodie, $90.
Dude.
They're charging $90 for a hoodie.
100 Thieves just re-released their cream hoodie yesterday, and I went to go see, because honestly, if it was 50, 60 bucks, I was going to cop one. Not even gonna lie. I went onto the site, it was $90.
Same,
and
okay.
It was like
same and this is a white hoodie, folks. I'm not kidding here.
Literally,
it is a white hoodie with 100 Thieves. Tiny 100 Thieves, like right under your neck.
Yeah. I wanted it for the clout, Tim. I wanted it for the clout.
I'll tell you what. I will make you that hoodie. I'll make you a 100 Thieves t-shirt for next week.
I'll wear it.
I'll make, don't worry. I can make that for you.
$90
for a hoodie. Let me tell you what.
That's insane.
Let me tell you what, folks. Okay? This is Papa Tim, my heart to your heart. If you buy a hoodie for $90, don't buy a hoodie for $90. Simple as that. That's Finance 101 from two old dudes, okay? Don't buy a hoodie for $90. That is a poor investment.
That's a steep price. I mean, go back to the prices for the stadium. That's the mind-blowing. I mean, that's expensive. I am shocked that that is a lot of money to go watch a Call of Duty match. Honestly,
dude.
I thought
it's not a major. You're not looking at the finals. It's opening weekend.
I really thought $20 a day was like, I was like, man, $60 for the weekend. I've gone to a lot of events now.
Yeah.
The only ones that
DreamHack
cost
is like
$100 something dollars, those are like BlizzCon type events where it is a
Yeah.
convention. So you're there for an experience. And I guess maybe that's what they're trying to sell this as, is
it's gonna
opening
sell
weekend.
out, right? It's gonna sell out because it's
Opening
the
weekend
first
will.
season and everyone's hyped. And but I'm like,
Look,
look,
if you're trying to make this sustainable though for years to come, you're not selling out stadiums at that price for years to come. There's no way.
and
There's
the
no
issue
way
is that
somebody's
price is that
spending-
price everywhere in the stadium, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Oh, so,
have
like,
cheap seats anywhere.
can you choose your seat or is first
No,
come first
it
served?
does show you what your seats are at least. So at least you have assigned seats, right? It's not a mad dash to get the best one or whatever. But I'm with you. Like for sustainability, is that a word?
Yeah.
Like what happens when these teams start doing home and home more, and they're bad?
Yeah.
Like
Or where they're bad and the opponent's bad.
yeah, it's
Good
just
luck.
a
Yeah.
match you don't care about. And I know they strategically do this to where, it is a hyped event and everything, but I'm telling you, eventually that we're going to turn that corner where people are like, I don't have to go to this one. I don't have to go to today, right? Like, I'm not interested in it. It's going to get to that point, and especially if you're charging with fees and parking and everything, 100 plus. And I look at it too, like when I was growing up and I competed and I went to MLG Dallas events and things like that. I remember it had to have been around 08 maybe. They started charging just to go to the event. And I remember we all laughed and it was, I don't know the price, but I'm sure back in 08 it was like $15 or something, right? And we were thinking like, you're charging people to come into this place? No way. Retrospect, stupid, right? Obviously you can pay to go watch it now and no one questions it. But it was cheap. But my point here is that it was kind of like a cool thing for my family to come. They would watch me compete, right? One time I made it on the main stage, and that was pretty badass for them to watch and everything like that. And I just imagine for this, if you're a dad and your kid wants to go, God forbid you have more than one, you're looking at what, spending $500, $400 for one day?
Yeah.
Like
I would rather buy them the game and the system at that point and be like,
yeah,
just
dude.
play it, or hey, watch the stream.
Like,
it's free.
I just look, I think of it from that family aspect, and it's like, guys, I think we're missing out on what this was about, right? Like, you have a chance to make this something really cool, and again, they're gonna sell out, they're gonna get their money, but that's feel a bit greedy.
Steep price.
Yeah, it's steep. No doubt, especially
because I don't think that'll work long term. That type of pricing.
No.
There's no.
Once it gets saturated, once the market gets saturated with esports events, you cannot charge that, because I know the Overwatch homestands coming up next year. I don't know if they're as expensive. They might be the same price. I don't recall off the top of my head, but like, thank God we get media passes for these things, because there's no way I would be like, hey, Anuj, there's another event this week. You want to go? It's like, bro, we just spent $100 last week.
Yeah,
like, no. I'll stay home and watch it. Because let's be real, it's fun going to these things, but you
don't really watch them as much when you're there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you almost get a better watching experience being at home, because you can hear the commentators better, you see the stats, and kind of follow along that way. But
yeah,
I don't know. That was a big yikes. When I saw that, I was like, no way. No.
My price for what I thought was the weekend is less than what it is for one day.
Yeah. And God forbid you want to buy a hoodie while you're there, because that's another $90.
Oh, to open a new credit card just to go.
I feel like we're missing out. We need to create merch. If people are spending $90 on a hoodie,
I'm willing to sell. Like what is the most you would spend on a hoodie? The most.
So I have a lot of hoodies. I feel like I'm a hoodie guy. I like to get them bigger, and then that way they just, kind of feel cozy. I'd say maybe $60 if it's like something that, like I think of like when I'm at a concert, right? I think I've probably spent $40 to $60 on a hoodie at a concert, or like, if it's a team hoodie or something
And
like that.
that's like the max price.
That's right. My normal price is like 20, $30. I'm going to that discount rack to see about just a normal hoodie.
I
I'll
just want
go,
it to feel nice,
yeah, like Bass
but
Pro every year for Black Friday does like $5 hoodies. Pff, you best believe
if
that I'm hitting
TCR
that up.
ever makes a hoodie, guys, we're not going to charge more than $40 for a hoodie.
That's our promise. That's
That's
the
ridiculous.
TCR promise.
That's a TCR promise. Make a TCR hoodie, it's got to be $40 or less.
No,
I
TCR
feel.
t-shirt, I'm talking triple digits. But a hoodie,
Oh yeah, got to make this money somewhere.
yeah, gotta make it up. Shipping fees will
Hopefully,
be through the roof.
Adidas has
It
been
might
talking
cost
to
you
us, so we'll see.
$150 to ship, but that hoodie will be 40. 100%.
We would have them out. We've just been negotiating tough with Adidas recently.
They reached out. And
Yeah,
honestly, the only reason we don't have a deal with Gucci is they wanted to charge more. And we were like, guys, no,
no,
not going to happen. I'm walking
not
away,
gonna do it.
Gucci. Mr. Gucci, I'm walking away. So maybe some other time we'll have TCR merchandise. But right now, Gucci wanted too much, and we wouldn't do that to you. Wouldn't do it to you. I'll tell you what we would do to you, though. Blow your mind with some CSGO knowledge, which we're about to do right now as we get into our Esports Championship Series Season 8 Finals, also known as ECS. I cannot believe we're already in Season 8. It just seems like FACEIT kicked this thing off a year ago, but I guess that's what happens when you have 2 seasons a year.
Yeah, they come up. It's like they come up so close to each other with them in ESL also, and so it's always one of those things of like, which one's more important?
Yeah, I mean, for a while there too, I felt like it was kind of like a bitter rivalry, right? Like which
Yeah,
ones you give more warrant to. Honestly, the way like both of these leagues have kind of done their normal season, I feel like have watered it down somewhat just because it's so confusing on how these teams got here to begin with. So that's why we don't really talk about it in season anymore because it's just, I feel like the storylines aren't there. Like before, you had it to where, G2 was in last place all season long, ended up qualifying for the playoffs in the stretch, and then ended up winning the whole season, right? That
yeah,
1 year in Dallas. So you had that storyline to talk about. Now they have like broken up events and tournaments and weekends, and you need like a flow chart to keep up with it. It's too much. It's too much. God forbid. So we're going to talk about the playoffs because it is here. It's this weekend at Esports Arlington Stadium, where the Esports Awards were just at. We were just there. We will be there this weekend. So if you're going, we'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Hit us up. We'll let you know when we're there. I am looking forward to it. We do have some pretty good teams, Anuj, and the way they did the groups. Do you know, was it planned this way? Are these done by standings? Because the groups are pretty stacked.
well, I think they are seeded, right? Like with Astralis being like the overall number one, Evil Geniuses being the overall number two, then Fnatic, then Liquid, then NIP, Avantgarde, and then MIBR. And I mean, to me, it's split pretty evenly.
Oh, no. I'm saying it's even, but it's evenly stacked. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's seeded based on
yeah.
what I see here.
Like, I feel like you have a steep drop off when it comes to Sharks and Avantgarde. But then other than that, like, it's going to be a pretty beefy event. So the way it starts.
Even Avantgarde's at like number 9. They have like 6 out of the top 10 ranked teams.
Really?
Rankings are a little funky in my mind right now.
Yeah.
But
that time
still,
of year where
Avantgarde
teams
has
can
been
jump up and
playing
down. And you can't sleep
fairly
on the
well.
Sharks. Don't sleep on the Sharks.
Yeah, and I mean, Avantgarde looked relatively good in this past weekend's Shanghai. Was it the PCL tournament that the CSGO Asia Championship that just went off? Avantgarde looked pretty good in there, so I wouldn't make them a sleeper team. I think they had a very good series against MIBR in this past tournament again in the Asia Championship. So to me, it's well balanced across the board. Sharks to me is really the only one that stands out as, ooh, what are we going to get with them? But I think their ranking shows that they're ranked well below everybody else at 37. Who did they upset to get in? I'm trying to remember who it was, but um,
I believe
yeah,
they beat I'm not gonna say their name right, but ATK. I think that above the standings, anyways, that's who it was. But let me see here. Let's see. Just looking here, so they won Series 1, or they qualified through Series 1 and 2, it looks like. They ended up beating Liquid in Series 1, losing 2-0 to NRG, which is now Evil Genius. And then in Series 2, they ended up upsetting Cloud9 and losing
Cloud9.
to
That's what I thought.
ATK or Attack. I don't know how you'd say that name.
So Tim, that's your Cloud9 of the tournament right there.
Well, first
With the
off,
Sharks.
I have been on record, never sleep on the Sharks. Never sleep on Sharks. They are my one Brazilian team to ride and die with. Not saying they're my favorite to win the tournament. Let's look at here how they have it broken down. So first, they're starting off with groups on the 28th. So yet again, ECS is back in Arlington, back in America, and yet again, they have the tournament start on Thanksgiving. Why? The world may never know. Don't know why they constantly choose Thanksgiving, a very big American family holiday, to start their event, but here we are.
Should be $1 million event if you're gonna do that.
It really, yeah, like we got football, we got some basketball, got family. It's a hard one to pull away from. To
Not
watch.
watching ECS that day, but yeah, go ahead.
We'll hit you up on the finals.
Yeah.
But Group A, you have Avangar, Evil Genius, NIP, Team Liquid. And in Group
That's a nasty group. That's a good group. Who do we got in B?
In Group B, and then we'll talk about each one individually, Astralis, Fnatic, MIBR, and Sharks. Still interesting, but I think we can kind of predict where that one's going to go. Let's bring it back to Group A, though, because that is the more interesting group, because NIP has been playing quite well, in my opinion. Well enough to where they could upset Liquid.
Yeah, you got 4 top 10 teams here. I think this group is probably the hardest to pick, though, for me, because I think Evil Geniuses has looked a little sluggish at times recently, although they're the number 2 team. We've seen them take a couple of losses here and there that are questionable. Liquid hasn't regained the type of consistency that we were seeing for a long period there. NIP is interesting because they have climbed in the rankings recently due to playing well, but I've also seen, and we'll get into this later on, like the rumors going around of Forest going on to another team. So it almost makes me question like where that team's head is right now. Like, are they all there, or
did not think about that,
or like what's going on? So and then Avangar is like a sleeper team, right? We've seen at times Jamie look like one of the best operators in the world. Adren has, I thought, performed rather poorly in the Asia Championship. He was really the one person that was lagging behind, but I also think he's also able to pick himself up quicker than others, just because, again, veteran player, been doing it for a long time. So I think they're a true sleeper team. So I really could see any 2-team combination wouldn't be overly surprising, although I think I would have NIP out just because of the recent rumors. Like, I really don't know where they're at mentally there.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You are right. This could be one of the last events we see Forrest in an NIP jersey. So that could affect it. And we've seen that affect teams in the past. We've also seen that, though, kind of bump them up, right? Like, that is...
It definitely could go one of 2 ways, right? I just, to me, there's so much weight there. It's not like your normal person leaving just another team, right? When you talk about Forest potentially leaving NIP, it's a pretty legendary move if and when it happens. So,
So who do you
again,
have then? Who are the 2 that you have
from
leaving
A,
that group? Yeah.
I'm I'm going to take Liquid and Avangar. I'm going to say Evil Geniuses. For some reason, I'm just not getting a great vibe, and I think they slip out. I think Liquid rebounds a little bit here in this tournament. They got their dose of the what is that? The Gaming Performance Center in Frisco, Texas, over here. They
Were
just
they
got to
there?
practice over there. They were there practicing, so they're working at a world class facility for a
Well,
world class
hey,
team. Finally,
right there. Jason Lake said
um,
he was going to get a number one in there. He got a
he,
number one.
he got him.
He got
He
it. He
got him.
got his top tier team. He got his
So,
top tier
you
team
know,
in the training
I'm going to
facility.
take Liquid on the rebound here. Avangar with the slight upset. I don't think it's a huge upset. I think a lot of these teams are much closer in skill, even though they're only like 5, 6 apart in terms of ranking. So I'll take Liquid and Avangar out of Group A.
I'm almost there with you. I have Avangard making an upset, but it's not with Evil Geniuses. It's with Team Liquid. I think Team Liquid has looked shaky. I think the thing is that they have more pressure on them, right? Like, even though Evil Geniuses, yeah, you were number one for 2 weeks, congratulations on that. I think if you even ask them, they would know, like, we were just there because other teams weren't. And teams do think that way. Remember, we asked Rops one year when, like, Mouse Sports was number 2, and I straight up asked, do you feel like a number 2? And he straight up said, no.
No.
Like, no, we realize we're there because other teams aren't playing right now. Like, we know how the ranking systems work. So, because let me tell you what, in October, Liquid has been 7-8. I'm sorry, they are 78% win rate. Only played, though, 9 matches. A little cold, going in a little bit of cold. And I think we've seen Liquid not play well coming back from stretches of not playing, right? They don't play well cold. They need that momentum. Look at the, what's it called? The Grand Slam, right?
Yeah.
They went on that run in a short amount of time, staying hot, going to tournament to tournament. When they're cold, though, Liquid does not play well immediately after that, when they take that little break prepping for an event. Like Anuj just said, look at every stinking major that they have played in. Every team always takes breaks before majors. Liquid historically performs well out of a break. Take it for what you will. I think they are the team that is upsetted out of making it out of groups, leaving.
So you have Evil Geniuses and Avangard.
Yep. You convinced me with Nip. I think they're not going to be with it, and because the Forest news is kind of coming as a surprise, right? Like that,
Yeah.
No one was expecting that. So I think they're caught off guard as well. That is in their heads. And then you have Avangar and Evil Geniuses picking up the pieces.
And personally, what I would like to see is Evil Geniuses and Liquid. So we have an NA.
I mean, you're in an
you
NA
know,
soil, right?
Yeah,
You want that NA crowd
it would be
behind
good, but
it.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see an Avangard upset in there. I think B is. I think we know one of the teams for sure.
Sharks.
However, the Sharks. I think we both got the Sharks going 3-0 here in groups and going through pretty easily. No, B to me is the tricky one because MIBR again they just recently played in the Asia Championships. They're one of those teams where I still don't know what we have. There were moments where they would lose the first half of maps 12-3, 11-4, like a handful of times. And then they come back and either win it in OT or they win it in regulation. Now, granted, they were knocked out they were knocked out by Ents in the semifinals for a chance to go to the finals. But Fnatic are one of those teams where, just like we talked about Mouse Sports, I kind of feel that way about Fnatic right now. Like they're ranked number 3, but I think they're really the third best team in the world right now? Like I have a tough time believing that. So for that reason, I think I'm going to roll the dice here, Tim. I think I'm going to go with Shawless and MIBR to come out of the groups here for Group P.
Whoa. You just blew my mind. I was not expecting that. MIBR. You think MIBR is over Fnatic?
I think MIBR looked okay in this last tournament, and I think Fnatic, to me, is a little overrated. I mean, but it's not like they're bad. It's just I know what we're getting. Like I know they have some streaky players, and I know they need JW to be overly aggressive and be hitting his shots for this to work. Crims is playing at an all-star level. Again, they're one of those teams that also hasn't been in a ton of matches recently.
October they were 17-5. October. Now I know we're still November. Not a lot of teams have played, right? I mean, you've pretty
Yeah.
much had the Asian tournament that just happened in Shanghai, but apart from that, there really hasn't been a whole lot going on right now.
Yeah, and they smacked MIBR and some of their man. I'm almost changing my mind as I'm reading some of these
As
things.
you should.
No, I'm gonna roll the dice here.
Stick
I
with
think
your guns.
MIBR is coming in off of a tournament. They're coming in off. They're one of the few teams in this event that's coming off of like games and matches and
Yeah.
real time experience
From
recently.
Shanghai though.
Yeah,
From
that's where
Shanghai,
they're at.
they literally just played a match
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, they just lost to Ents, but they
Today.
made it all the way to the semis.
today.
Yeah, and
They
they'll
play
fly out from
again.
Shanghai first class.
They'll play again though in like 4 days. Shanghai is like a day's trip.
But then they're going back in time, so it doesn't count as loss.
Oh,
Lost time. Yeah.
maybe they'll have more strategies then. If they're traveling back in time, they can double up their practice. I am not a believer in MIBR. I think they're now Evil Geniuses also played in Shanghai, so we can't completely dismiss that as well. So did Avangard, but they both played last yesterday, so I'm sure they were on the last or the first flight out of there to get to Texas. Looking at Group B, for me, I'm not sleeping on the Sharks. You don't sleep on the Sharks, but they don't
We're
make
not
it out.
taking them either.
They don't make it out.
They don't make it out.
They don't
Yeah,
make it out.
okay.
I'm not sleeping on them. Not going to sleep. It could happen, but it's not.
Name one player on the team. You're moving your mouse. I can see you. You're on stream.
You got to watch out for Exit. Exit is a dangerous
Yeah.
player, Nuge.
Yeah,
It's
need
going to
an
be
exit
interesting to
strategy right
see
now.
how him and JNT perform after, just the Brazilians, right? Yeah. So don't sleep on them. I think, though, I am a believer in Fnatic. I do think that they are performing very well, almost under the radar because people like you who don't give them enough credit. I think MIBR has been playing some trash CSGO lately. I think that is still a roster that is in disarray since Stewie has been on. I don't think they've ever been able to find their footing in the last 2 years. And I think this is not the tournament that they find their footing. In a group with Astralis and Fnatic, that's not the time that a team is going to all of a sudden pull it together and figure it out. So I think they don't make it out of groups, obviously being the very not adventurous pick of Astralis and Fnatic making it out of there.
And that's the smart money, right? I mean, like they're the top two teams in that group for a reason. Fnatic's ranked number 3 because they've played really well recently. So I think that's where the smart money is. And it's not like I have a ton of faith in MIBR. I thought they looked good at times in this tournament. Now, if they can fix half the match, like in the sense of they've started off really poorly, if they can kind of get that together and start off even halfway decent, they would have blown a lot of these teams away. So I think they come in with a little chip on their shoulder, something to prove. And MIBR Fnatic, don't forget, I mean, this is a very legendary matchup with now a lot of these players very familiar with one another, right? You start talking about Flesha, JW, Crims, versus Fur, Taco, Fallen. Like these guys are from those original dynasties. They know each other really well, so I think we're in for a good decider matchup between those two teams.
So now we're getting into the playoffs of the playoffs, into bracket play, if you will. And going off of our predictions, the only thing that we kind of shake on is one team on each pool. So do we want to just go over our picks?
Yeah, I think just go your.
Well, let's go with our darling, right? Let's go with our Cinderella pick.
Okay.
Let's go with the upset pick, as in who's going to upset you, not who's going to be like make an upset win. Who's
going to break our heart?
Who's going to disappoint you, and the winner.
Easy for me. I have the team that's going to upset me is going to be MIBR. They're gonna rip my heart out before they even get there. They're probably not gonna make it. There's a chance they go 0-3 and lose to the other Brazilian squad, and we'll say, well, oh, they had knowledge of them, they practiced against them, whatever. No, I think MIBR has a big chance to break my heart and make me look like an idiot. Make me look like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm still gonna ride with them. Tim, for me, I'm gonna also give you my winner at the same time here. Is that okay?
Go for it.
Astralis is too good. I mean, they're too good. They're back to where they belong. They're back at the top. I think they're playing with a level of confidence right now that we saw during their full 2018 run that they had there. I think the other teams now look at them as the best team again. When I think that gap had closed for a period of time, and there was 2 or 3 teams there at one point that I think felt like they could compete with the Astralis at any time, anywhere, almost regardless of the map. Evil Geniuses and Liquid being 2 out of the 3. I think both of them are slightly fearful of Astralis again. I think everybody's kind of been set and put in check a little bit, and reminded who the best team in the world is. I think they're going to prove it again in this tournament. I think they go through their group pretty easily, and in my mind, I honestly think it's 3-0 across the board for them in their group. I don't think any of those 3 teams can compete with them. And really on the other side, Liquid or Evil Genius would be the best pick to go up against them, but and I have my doubts. Now, is this with cash in the comp pool? It is, right?
I can tell you that in 2 seconds. Your map pool: Anuge, Dust 2, Mirage, Inferno, Nuke, Train, Overpass, and Vertigo.
Okay, so no cash yet.
No cash. It is playing on the new patch, which I'll ask you a question on that in just a second because I'm curious, but no cash.
Okay.
No cash. So we're still sticking with your picks.
Sticking with the picks, yeah.
So what was it? Winner, Astralis.
Winner Astralis, my heartbreak, MIBR.
And then Cinderella.
I don't think there's going to be one. I think Astralis is going to make everybody look like a fool. I think Astralis is going to show everybody why they're number 1. I don't think we're going to have any major upset in this, other than the biggest potential for Cinderella is we find out that the Forest move is official, and he goes out there and gives us a Forest-like performance, right? Like, gives us one of the most dominating performances we've seen him have in a NIP jersey. That would be something
just have his
really
flu
cool.
game. Like, this is just... it's his farewell tour, saying goodbye to the fans, and just dominates.
That would be neat to me. So I'll keep that as a sleeper Cinderella, and it would still be in a NIP 16-14 loss.
All right. My Cinderella pick. Can I say any NA team?
You can.
Because I don't think an NA team is going to even make the finals. So yeah, I think being in an NA soil, it doesn't matter who. As long as it's an NA team, the crowd's going to go bonkers, right?
Just give us one.
Because people like to bash the NA fan bases. They're not being like the rowdiest, right? Like, you go see in London or Australia or even Brazil, the fans go nuts, right? But in North America, not so much. That's not the case when there is a North American team up there. If there's a North American team up there, we're obnoxious as hell as Americans.
You'll get USA chants for days then.
100%, as they should, because in the land of the free, all right, we can do that. So Back off. So I have any NA team being my Cinderella pick because I don't
Fair
think it's
enough.
gonna happen. All right. My sad pick, the pick to make me sad.
Could be NA team again.
Yeah, honestly, my sad pick will be Liquid. Even though I have them not even making it out of groups, I'm already sad about that.
It just bothers you
It,
internally.
it bothers me that this was their year, Anuj. This was Liquid's time. It was their time to shine. They were going to dethrone evil Europe, dethrone Astralis, and take the crown. And it just wasn't.
Look, there's a little bit of a meta shift. Let's
Yeah.
see what it changes. Let's see what it changes. You never know. This could be their way back in. Maybe this is a positive for them. They still have the talent, obviously.
Look, I feel
so
like people just expect still so much from Liquid, right? They still, because it's the same roster. They haven't made any changes.
yeah,
And they still have moments where they look like that Liquid that we saw earlier this year. But then there's tournaments where it's just like, guys, what are you doing? Right? Like, what is going on here? So I don't know. They're the ones that are gonna upset me. I feel like they're gonna lose, they're gonna be eliminated before they get out of groups, and I'm gonna be like, damn. There's a long break coming up. Is this the last time we see this roster of Liquid? Don't know. I'm not
if
saying
they
it
get
is.
smoked in this tournament, there is a likelihood that we see a change.
Hey, how many times can you get smoked, right? How many times can you not make it to your expectations and still hold your head up high? I don't know. Now, Nuge, for my pick for winning, let me take you back. Let me take you back to a time where I like to call 2018. January 2018, a little thing I like to call the E-League Major, Boston Major. I gave you my TCR lock of the major. What did I say?
According to your pick'ems?
No. On the show, what did I say for your Tim lock of the major?
Cloud9 was going to do something.
Folks, I'm here to tell you my lock of ECS Season 8 Finals, Fnatic.
Wow, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Fnatic.
Are you sure?
Fnatic.
All right. It's because Golden played on Cloud9, isn't it? And Flusha.
No. But now I love it even more.
Now
that you remind me of that, I love the pick even more.
Hey, I would love to see it. If they can.
Fnatic a plus 750 to make the finals. Odds makers, don't have too much faith. Right in the middle though. Right in the middle.
Would this put them like number 1 in the world? Do you think? To end the year.
I don't know the ranking.
Oh wait, there would still be Odense. There's still Odense at ESL. They're ranked 3rd right now.
Yeah.
So I think you win this tournament. This is considered like a major tier tournament in that sense, right?
I
It
guess.
would get them right there heading
I'm
into.
not 100% sure how the HLTV's rankings and all that work.
That would be interesting though.
I like that pick. Like I said, they've just been playing well. They recently as well. I think that this is their weekend, their event. I like Fnatic so much. I'm putting money down on them. So,
what did you say the odds were for them?
750.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Pretty good, yeah.
Not bad. You have now before that though, Evil Geniuses 400, Team Liquid 550, Astralis 110. So they got 2 NA teams ahead of Fnatic right now, as far as the odd makers go. But that being said, still favor a European team to win. So obviously, everyone's jumping on that Astralis, the easy pick. The easy pick, the non-money pick. Fnatic.
No, I like it.
Your
It's
lock
funny.
of the weekend.
We were asking what tournament do we think is better, or not better, but bigger in terms of more meaning, ECS versus ESL. Do you know ESL is double the teams?
For the weekend or whatever?
It's like double the teams for Group A and Group B. Group A has 8 teams. Group B has 8 teams.
I think that's because the formats, though. The formats are different. I think ECS filters out teams ahead of the playoffs, where ECS doesn't filter out as much, so more qualify for the playoffs.
It takes the top 4 from each region
Right.
for ESL.
Yeah. Like ESL does your more traditional kind of sports bracket still, where ECS, I have no idea what the hell they try to do with this. They invented their own bracket system series stuff. I have no idea.
It's nice that we're getting 6 out of the top 10 here, so we should have a good viewing this weekend. Again, we'll be there this weekend, so we'll be hopefully tweeting out some stuff, sending out some pictures on our Instagram if you want to check that out. Anything you want to hear from any of the players, we should have some player interviews and opportunity to speak with some of these guys if we're in the right spot at the right time. So if there's somebody you want to know something from, let us know. We'll throw it out there and see if we can get a good response from them.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. It will be a fun time. Look, first off, the esports stadium in Arlington, an amazing venue. I love it a little more every time I go. And ECS, we were there the last time they were in Arlington. They treat you well. So
They do.
it's a good weekend. So I can't wait. Should be some good Counter-Strike. Before we get to E-News, though, do you feel, because they are playing on the newest patch, do you feel that will affect anything?
Yeah, I think the money effect is going to be pretty noticeable. I'm just curious to like
who benefits more from that?
well, how have people strategize? How are their buys? What's their comfort level now using a FAMAS and a Galil, versus prior years where we've never really seen either of those guns in play. I think we might see a lack of comeback victories, I guess you could say. Everyone's going to be able to buy pretty much at all times now. So I'm curious to see how that affects the feel of the game. Will I feel like the comeback potential is gone? Does this heighten the comeback potential maybe because it's hard to be, money screwed the whole time? I think it will. I think the games could look potentially a little different. And I think a big part of this is us getting to see some of the top tier teams in the world at this event. We'll see their approach to it, right? How is Astralis going to go about this? Like, what a team to be able to follow on a patch change, right? Like, if anyone's going to be creative with it, it's going to be them. Same thing with Liquid. You've mentioned they've had some time off. Fnatic, again, these are all teams with veteran players, veteran leaders on there. So they're going to understand exactly how these tweaks work. So it should be fun to see how they approach it. And I do think we'll get a little bit of a different feel of CS this weekend and what it's going to be like, at least for the foreseeable future.
And again, that starts this Thursday, Thanksgiving if you're in the States. So we will definitely be there. We'll definitely recap it and go from there.
Yep.
Let's get into E-News. Keeping it with CSGO, 100 Thieves pulls out of DreamHack Open Winter, which is also this weekend. Never really said why. I guess now that they're 100 Thieves, they got that $90 hoodie money, and they don't need to go to events.
Do that.
They don't need to be going to DreamHack Open.
Renegades used to be excited to get invited to events. 100 Thieves.
Renegades would never pull out of an event. Renegades would be emailing people to ask if they could get invited. Now 100 Thieves. Nah, man, we're good. You don't need to go to your tournament. Team Secret tweeted out a little teaser that they might be coming back to CSGO. That's all I got.
Seen a couple of teams kind of come back in here recently, so it's interesting.
Like I said,
the landscape of CS always amazes me, right? Like, if you find an opportunity to get in, what org wouldn't love to be in it?
Yeah,
But,
like I said, I think a lot of it is a ripple effect of franchising, right? A lot of these teams, Team Secret not being one of them, so I don't really know what their game is, but
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, I think a lot of these teams lost some resources with franchising, or at least opportunities with a franchise, and so now they're looking at what's the next thing that they can get into. You know, like Call of Duty and Overwatch, that's done. You've closed that door unless you want to drop a fat check. Well, CSGO would probably be your next venture into FPS if that's what you're looking at. So, you know.
Nah, I agree.
Speaking of teams getting back, Dignitas.
Yeah,
Why does that sound so weird? Probably because I haven't said it in 2 years. Acquired, or I guess this is the rumor, that they're going to acquire Hulzerk, Exist, Freiburg, and Forest for their new CSGO lineup.
And so that would leave one spot left. Who is available right now that's comfortable with all of those players? And
you know,
why
he'll be
is
here
his
this weekend. Get right, will be here this weekend.
Why isn't his name rumored on this lineup? It's a little unusual, right? Like,
Like,
Forest exists.
everyone else from NIP is on that list and not Get Right.
Like, Flaren might even be the fifth here. that would be a little unusual. So, you know, we know he's looking to get
the
back.
names
getting
make
back
me
into play.
excited. I don't know how well they'll do, but the names make me excited.
It would be weird to see Forest leave NIP. So let's see. Let's see
People
what
said the
happens
same
with
thing
that
about
one.
Freiburg,
That's it, you
though,
know. Big org though, so them getting back in. I think they still have a female CS team, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. We'll see if they get back in and make a play here. And you know, this lineup is one that's at least interesting enough to see how they perform. So.
In Dota, ESL 1 to host the Dota Major coming up March 20th in Los Angeles. That's exciting. LA getting a big Dota event. I feel like you don't see that very often just here in the States as much, but might be fun to go to.
You want to go back?
Oh, no doubt. In March, LA in March sounds beautiful. I have no problem. Let's see where the TI is going first. I wonder if we'll know where the TI... Do we know where the TI is at? I'll look it up later.
It's in Shanghai, isn't it?
Well, no, that's where it was. It wasn't in Shanghai.
Oh, yeah. No. What did we just have in Berlin?
The League of Legends.
Yeah. Worlds.
They've announced it. They announced where it is, right? T10. The International. This is live research. Dota.
Stockholm, Sweden.
Sweden?
Yeah, Sweden.
Okay, well then maybe we'll go to LA. We could go to Sweden too. Maybe we'll go to both. I knew they announced the location. That's why it was driving me nuts. All right, so there's that. In Battle Royale, PUBG World Championship Finals, they're going on right now. I don't believe we have a winner just yet.
Genji has been dominating pool play, though. Phase 1, Match 1 of the day. I'm sure Match 2 and Match 3 have probably been completed since I last tuned back in. But I know Genji had a pretty commanding lead at the time and really racking up some frags there, but we'll recap on that next week to let y'all know who won if you don't follow along.
I'm going to screw up this guy's name, but Toby Lutke?
Yeah.
The CEO of Shopify. Now, I don't care about any of that, but apparently he's a big StarCraft 2 fan or a StarCraft fan in general. And Home Story Cup was going on this weekend or past weekend or going on now. And it's a grassroots StarCraft 2 tournament, everything there. Kind of small, but tight with that community, right? This godsend of a man just said, I love StarCraft. Everyone go check out this. He tweeted it out to his followers, put the Twitch link in, and just to pour a little sugar on top, said, I'm donating $25,000 to the prize pool.
Doubling
up.
It's funny because I saw this guy's name a few weeks ago for the first time, and it was actually a former StarCraft pro announced his retirement, and said he's looking to get a job like in the real quote unquote real world, right? Outside of esports. Well, this Toby Lutke guy also replied at that point and said, "Hey man, I'm a huge StarCraft fan. I know who you are. I don't need to see your resume. I know your accomplishments. If you're interested in working for us, let us know and I'll get you a job with our company." And so he had kind of, gotten some traction in terms of people noticing what he was doing
Right.
just a few weeks back, and then this happens now a few weeks later, and he's kind of doubling down on his support for StarCraft. So something really cool. Again, another really cool thing that we just saw, back to 100 Thieves, man. These guys are everywhere, especially with the merchandising side. FIFA has added the 100 Thieves jersey into the game. Tim, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought it looks clean as hell in game. Like it looks like a
does.
legit soccer jersey or a soccer
Yeah.
kit for all our European soccer traditionalists out there. I thought it was pretty badass. Again, worst name in esports, but best branding.
Do a good job for sure.
And I bet
And then
you those
finally-
don't cost $90.
You'll have to open 90 packs to get it, probably. So might even be
$90 for a
more.
hoodie. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
You know what? They had the glitch that was forcing you to buy 2 of them. So people had bought 2, and then you had to send an email in saying that you only wanted one.
Yeah,
and
I
they
saw
canceled
that.
one of them.
I saw that they were
Yeah.
having an issue there, but I can't get over the fact that people are buying $90 hoodies. Is this where we're at? Like I said, I know people like to buy Supreme and Gucci slides when they definitely can't afford it. I guess
I need some Dallas Empire merch. Is what I need.
that's for real. For real. I don't care about 100 Thieves. All right, Dallas Empire. I'll take like a hat and stuff. I'm not asking for the full hookup here. The hookup, I just something a little bit. And one other streamer leaves Twitch. Disguised Toast leaves Twitch to go to Facebook Gaming. That's a twist. Didn't see that one coming, but apparently Facebook Gaming is still a thing. Didn't know that. I thought it was dead.
Yeah, that's that's a pretty shocking one. He said he did it for the opportunity to grow. He feels like it's an untapped market.
It's definitely untapped.
I say it's because you got paid a lot of money is the reason that you did this, and that's okay. But everyone makes their own decisions.
Untapped.
That's to me, that's a rough one because I don't think Facebook streaming is ever going to work out. People like to type anonymously too much in terms of like Twitch chat and all that, and say what they want to say.
Yeah.
And like Facebook, your name is tied to it, and you're like who you are on there.
Information
and
there.
So, yeah, I just don't see Facebook gaming ever being a thing. But hey, hopefully he made a lot of money on his deal, and good for him.
So I go to Facebook Gaming. I had to Google it, but it's facebook.com/gaming. The suggested viewers or streams to watch. Let me just say browse streamers. Now, see, a lot of these are thrown off because it's much like YouTube where, like, your follower count is stretched over from, other subscribers. So, like, a lot of these people have their page and they're already super popular, right? But just looking at some of the streamers here, looks like the most at the moment has 28 viewers.
Well, he should double that.
So there you go. The thing with this though is like Disguised Toast. I mean, he's a big streamer, but he used to be like exclusive Hearthstone competitive and big deal on that side. So the fact that he's leaving Twitch kind of is a hit to that community as well. And yeah, kind of sad as well because you're right, Anuj. Like that is 100% money whipped. That's got money whipped written all over it. And it's not like you're going to Mixer or something that is going to like support that. Facebook Gaming could be pulled at any second because they don't make any. Oh my God, wrong button. Oh my God, shut up. All right, well, you know what? It was also spooky that he went over to Facebook Gaming. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird.
Another big streamer making a move, though. I mean, that's kind of the theme that we've seen over the last couple of months now is you kind of are just waiting to see who's next. And eventually, once it's all spread out, we'll see how this affects our viewing experience, right?
Yeah, I thought we already tried the Facebook gaming thing, and we saw what happened at ESL and ECS. They almost collapsed as companies because no one watched them. I guess there's always room to try again. If first you don't succeed, try again. That's what they say anyways, except for with Facebook gaming. That one should probably just be put away.
No.
That one should be put away. But you know what shouldn't be put away? TCR. Because this episode's done, but we will be back next week. We're not doing a Thursday episode, obviously, with it being the holiday. We both have family in town. We both got things going on. Got to get ready for ECS and all that fun stuff. So, one episode this week. Sorry, everyone. Love you.
But we'll
Episode.
be back next Sunday with some stories from ECS and a recap of the event.
Yeah. Hey, it's not going to stop it from being the best episode ever. That's for damn sure. Episode 194, though, it is done. It's in the books. Thank you so much for listening. If you skipped around or listened to the whole thing, love you all the same. Like we just said, we will be back next week, next Monday, taking the holiday off. Hope everyone has a good, safe Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey, eat a lot of food, forget your diets, get a little fat. That's what it's all about. Watch some football.
Pecan pie, baby.
That's gross, but we don't have time to talk about it. It's just not good. All right, for Tim or Nooch, we'll see ya.
Pie tier list.